you bastard! Word of advice, don't ever polish your weapons, because you'll never know when you'll hear bad news and accidentally fall on them. And this is some pretty bloody bad news we're dealing with today, everybody, because today we have yet another PS2 game from Phoenix Games to add to their flawless repertoire. And I'm not joking when I say this is the worst one I've seen so far, and I know I say that with every single new one that I see, but come on, look at this!
Why did the referee blow his whistle?
If you're a Caddicarus veteran, not that you'd want to be, you already know about Phoenix Games. I've been covering them for years, ever since Dalmatians 3 over 4 years ago, and they're responsible for some of the highest viewed videos on my channel. Since then, I've taken many looks at other desperate Disney dodgies from them, like Peter Pan, Pinocchio, and one of my personal favourites, Snow White and the Seven Clever Boys. Essentially, the games themselves are exactly the same thing. They're all badly coded and pissingly programmed puzzle compilations. Jigsaws, slide puzzles, matching tiles, you know, real bottom-of-the-barrel stuff. And yes, they are always the same on every Phoenix game, with the only thing making each entry stand out being a terrible cartoon based on the titular characters on the front of the box. Sometimes. I mean, in Dalmatians 3, this bitch is nowhere to be seen. This bitch isn't in the game either. I'm not joking, they bastardize classic Disney characters for their box art, even steal concept art from other games onto their box art, and even after that, can't be asked to go through the effort of using their own abominations in their own films. That's the level of uselessness we're dealing with here. That, and I swear to God, they just use one person to voice over absolutely every single character.
Take pity on me, Excellency. What will happen to my daddy? How on earth did you find yourself on that tree?
These games were licensed by Sony, sold on the shelves, and the films on the game discs themselves could be as short as 6 minutes long. Sometimes Phoenix Games couldn't even be buggered to get their own original films on the discs, and so outsourced some of the movie making to another company known as Dingo Pictures. So where many Phoenix games look like this,
First, there was Cubby, who was like a small bear.
Dingo Pictures movies look like this.
Yeah,
Where we're going, there is no God, because Dingo Pictures made the film that we are watching today! I still stand by what I said earlier. Animal Soccer World is easily the worst Phoenix Games production I've ever seen. And just like the mythical bird itself, no matter how many times I slaughter it, it seems to keep rising back from the ashes. In case you weren't sure, Animal Soccer World is based off of that one scene in Bedknobs and Broomsticks where animals play soccer, you dumbass. And one must ask how on earth you drag that on to a 30-minute cutscene with a beginning, middle, and end, but I suppose we're going to find that out, aren't we?
What's that got to do with my knob?
The film starts with the greatest walking theme I've ever heard in my life. Christ's sake, it's not even in time! By the way, if you've seen my Dalmatians 3 video, yes, that is the exact same dog from Dalmatians 3. In fact, all the same characters from Dalmatians 3 appear in this game, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Long time no see.
¿Qué?
Long time no see.
What?
Long time no see.
Oh, it's Sonic.
Long time no see. What are you doing today?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know yet either. I don't even know who you are.
We can visit some friends.
Okay, wait a second here. You go to see your friend who you said yourself you haven't seen for a long time, don't address him by his own name, and then order him around by forcing him to accompany you to seeing other friends? We're 20 seconds into this film and I already hate the main character. That has to be a world record. Gotta say though, I really do love that walking theme. In fact, it's so good it even butts in and interrupts the rest of the music. But will it be as good as the hardcore running music in Dalmatians 3? Let's get one thing straight. Nothing will ever be as great as that. Okay, so back on track. Our main character is an abusive dictator. Simba here is just rolling over and taking it, so off we go. Are we not going to address that? Oh, Mufasa and Narabi are there now? And then they're gone? We're not going to talk about any of this? So these two are off to see their friend Harry, apparently, and off they set from the jungle to do so and end up inside a Greek village. Hold the phone, where did the jungle go? And who the hell are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, did you see it? Of course you didn't see it. Because you can only hear me.
Then why did you ask? We're only about a minute into this masterpiece and already I'm completely lost. At least in other Phoenix games, they had easier to follow plots and characters despite me not understanding a single word half of them said most of the time.
I don't want to hear every word.
But Animal Soccer World? I mean, he's Harry, but I don't know who these two are. I don't know who these two are or why they appeared on screen for less than 3 seconds, and there's no excuses here. This is a PS2 game that came out in 2005, next to the original God of War, and 2 years after Dalmatians 3 changed the industry. Are we also going to completely ignore the fact that Harry is a 6-foot-tall street flasher? Anyway, as it turns out, Harry is actually pretending that something is going on so that he can report and commentate on it because there's nothing going on, hence all of his ramblings. But this is only a guess from me here, since I can barely understand a single conversation going on. As you can hear, the voice acting is so out of this world dreadful, but when you stitch it back to back with other characters trying to have a conversation, it sounds like someone having a stroke.
But what is supposed to happen?
Something that even scares the dog.
Excuse me?
I wasn't talking about you.
I didn't edit or cut down any of that, including the overlapping lines on the wrong characters moving the wrong lips. It really is that bad.
I see. That is hard.
Really? Well, I'm not. The whole overlapping lines and wrong character lip-syncing bullshit is something the film keeps up terrifically from the start to the end, like a demented art project. But would you believe it even has scenes of the complete opposite effect right next to them? Because as soon as Winnie the Turd over here comes out, he's given far too much screen time for a tiny line.
Can I sell my candy somewhere?
Like, who is in charge of the edits here? Somebody had to watch this back and think, this is shit, and then cut it down so that all the lines could at least fit. This is a disgrace. Even Dalmatians 3 wasn't this bad. And what's even better is that right after that abrasive silence, it goes back to the way too fast overlapping normal cuts again.
There is no party.
Oh.
It's driving me crazy.
But nothing. I repeat, nothing, not a single thing on God's green, repugnant earth can prepare you for what is about to happen in a second. This transcends any kind of awful I've ever seen in a game cutscene, a TV show, a YouTube video, a film, anything. It's that bad. I haven't got anything else to say. Commence. Now you tell me. What the holy mother of crack was that about? Was that from a bull riding tournament where a person was dressed as the bull? Was that a deleted scene from The Exorcist? Was that my auntie's final words? I don't know. Back on track though, that thing just arrived for some reason, and why was that? Oh right, there was some pretty nasty fight going on in the middle of the street. That's why we had the and so the emergency duck appears to calm the situation down.
You really have to fight? Why can't you be nice to each other?
Well, the duck calms the situation down without waking their parents in the next room anyway. Why were these two fighting though? Well, as it turns out, this dog who lives in the jungle next door to the Greek village found a red ball. This panther wanted to play with it, but the dog wouldn't let him. I tell you, this argument gets a little bit too PG-13 for my taste.
That's not true. You're just mad because I can shoot the ball threaded.
No, you can't.
I can.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay. So instead of fighting, the animals all get together and decide to arrange a soccer game to sort out the argument. Ah, okay. Because that's apparently how all disputes are settled in the animal kingdom. And the panther is so happy about the situation, his neck vibrates, while the dog is so happy his legs collapse in on themselves.
Don't you also need nurses at such a game?
Hey there, do you mind at all if you speak up just a tiny bit because...
Jacob will never let me play for the Jungle King.
Speak up! This isn't a quiet place, it's Animal Bloody Soccer World! So after all of that, we then follow on to Harry the 6-foot flasher taking photocopies. I'm assuming of his privates. No, of course he isn't. He's getting ready for the big soccer match, of course, which Puss in Boots here hears about and tries to get the inside scoop.
First of all, I have to hand out all these flyers, and I have no clue how to do all that.
Then why did you arrange a bloody soccer match, you dunce? All of a sudden, these birds then arrive with socky old socks for their beaks and say that they will commentate for one team, the Jungle Kings, while Harry will commentate for the other team, the Wild Dogs, which is apparently so funny that the head of one of the birds starts to do itself in the neck hole. And then just when you were thinking, oh Christ almighty, I can't handle any more birds, another bird then comes in and offers to spread the flyers around, which he does a pretty miserable job at since he's dropping them all in the same place. And then he flies all the way to the barnyard, next door to the jungle, next door to the Greek village, and the pigs here get so excited with the news of a soccer match
In 2 weeks there is a soccer championships.
that the chicken grabs a saxophone and the dog starts drumming the intro to a Rick Astley song. This is seriously the laziest slop I have seen from Phoenix Games / Dingo Pictures yet. I mean, reusing the same characters is bad enough, we've already discussed that, but in this whole part where the rest of the Wild Dogs team is being recruited, I'm convinced they just straight up copied the entire scenes, backgrounds, and character placements from Dalmatians 3. And if not, they're scarily similar. That's a new one, I'll give them that. And at least the mold is broken a little bit in this scene where we move on from the vibrating head laughing to this instead.
Hey, honey. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Juicy.
Juicy who?
Do you see that stupid dog over there?
So then we cut to the Wild Dogs team who are deciding who is going to do what in the match.
You look a little bit small, but you're fast, and you can run between the legs.
What can I be?
Nothing, Crummel. You are way too small.
This goes on for much too long, after which they all head out for the shooting practice, and this guy thinks he's playing basketball, so that's a very good start.
I always have to do everything, just because they're bigger than me.
Did Tommy Wiseau voice that thing?
I want to give her a second chance. After all, she's my future wife.
And no less than nearly 10 minutes into this 30-minute film about soccer, we finally have the first football kick, which is followed by this. This dog is then sent away to find a better goalkeeper, and luckily we find one, but for some reason someone added a bouncing ball on top of the dialogue here, and I'm about to give up on my life.
Goalkeeper? Why a goalkeeper?
Okay, we're done here. Time to move on to... No! Well, would you look at that? Mufasa has moved on from the jungle and now lives in a lovely holiday villa on the Spanish coast, and he's going to train the Jungle Kings. He decides to make the panther guy over here the captain, which he finds very exciting. And at this point, the voice actors, or voice actor, gets so lost to the point that he even asks the same question twice right after he asks the first question.
With soccer, can you also play with your head? Can you also use your head with soccer?
No time to focus on that now though, because the elephant has been named the goalkeeper, which seems horrifically unfair to me, but whatever.
I will be the goalkeeper. I'll stop all the balls.
Yep, I'm sure you will. And I bet you've had a lot of practice with that trunk.
Hey, Samson.
Wait, what?
Hey, Samson.
Is the bear's name Samsung?
Hey, Samson.
Why? And I mean, this isn't even me talking about the other classic Dingo Pictures staples that are present in all their other films. There are bootleg Disney characters seeping out of every crevice. Not only does the dialogue constantly overlap, but so does the music. And how about this for missed potential? Puss in Boots is in this film, and he doesn't ever play football, and he's wearing boots. So anyway, Simba, and I know he has a different name, but Jesus Christ, he might as well be called Simba, steals the football away from the Jungle Kings and plays with it while his tail spins in an impossible full circle.
He's just learning. You have to explain it to him gently.
Oh, well, how understanding. What a lovely father he is.
And now give me that ball right away.
I'm going to take that back. But the good thing is that this is totally made up with perhaps the most epic wind-up to a kick in video game history. Do you think I added that music in? Because I didn't, that's in the game. We have reached the nirvana, people. Indie devs around the world, give up. You're never going to be as good as this. You will never create anything as immaculate as this. But the real question is though, can the elephant catch the ball with his loose-skinned and overworked trunk? Yep, it appears he can. Then Mr. Crocodile over here has a very important point to bring up.
How can we score goals when he stops all the shots? Right? Right?
No. And then Mufasa comes back to give us more advice, which... Wait, hang on. Where did Sarabi go? She popped in at the very start of the game for about 2 seconds next to Mufasa and then never came back. Why was she there? Well, where is she now? Did Mufasa eat her? With a face like that, it wouldn't surprise me. And so the awful mutt heads off to get uniforms in the most logical way this film can muster. You know, in the middle of the street with a goat who is also a tailor.
Little bit of red.
And he also sounds like that.
Can you make jerseys for us?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Can you make jerseys for us?
Excuse me?
Can you make jerseys for us?
Just say that one more time for me, please.
Can you make jerseys for us?
Oh!
You know, I make everything. Well, it's like this.
Okay, I think I need to explain something here. You know film, when cartoons do that, it's because the characters are having an enclosed and secretive conversation that no one else around them is supposed to hear. You can't just do that in the middle of an open street with 2 characters on each end of the bloody road because one character is only going to be able to hear. My God! And you know what? Finally, 17 minutes and 20 seconds into this Oscar-winning epic, we finally have the titular soccer match that the whole film is about. Oh my god. Hi there, Bambi. Nice to see you can make it. How's your mum doing?
I thought we were for the Jungle Kings.
And now there's a rebel biker duck gang!
You guys are going into Area S.
Okay, don't think I really want to go there.
If you're making one wrong move, I will eat you.
Well, Jesus, I guess we have no choice. And after everyone starts getting angry with the lack of a soccer match in a film about soccer, 18 and a half minutes into the film,
Start the game, start the game, start the game.
we then see two pregnant monkeys pooing on the floor, and then we're finally ready for
The soccer game of the year.
the sucker game of the year. How appropriate. Although, I think we all really know deep down who's going to win that one. After this point, we have a musical number. Oh yes, a musical number. And these have always gone perfectly in other Phoenix games, so consider me hyped.
Wake Pinocchio, wake up, it's time to tell your story.
And the thing is, I would make some jokes about this whole segment, but I don't need to. As you're going to be able to see in a second, the jokes write themselves. Like, there's nothing I can say to make it any weirder than it is. I don't even know if this bit coming up is in English, I gotta be honest with you. So yeah, I'm just gonna let you enjoy all of it in its entirety, just like I had to. I dare you not to leave the video.
Hier zijn we met z'n allen, we hebben een fijne tijd. We gaan een beetje ballen, het wordt een mooie strijd. Geen geklaag, gemoppen, we maken alleen maar jol. Dit wordt een echte topper, wie maakt het eerste goal? Honden, leeuwen, katten, olifanten, mier. Gaan op het gras wat vatten en maken veel plezier. En als er straks het fluitje klinkt, doen alle dieren mee. Niemand maakt meer ruzie, iedereen is tevreden.
And I don't have anything to say here either.
1, 2, 3, we are the biggest cheerleader.
Okay. In all seriousness though, I don't think I can add anything remotely productive from this point onwards. I mean, a few interesting things happen, like nobody actually playing soccer most of the time, and the referee is actually friends with one of the teams, which I'm sure is slightly scandalous, but as far as anything else goes, I'm completely out of words to explain anything that we are all looking at. So instead, now what you're going to see is a little montage that I cooked up of all of the weirdest, most screwed up, most uncomfortable, most awkward moments of the entire soccer match, because there's too many moments to count. There's too many things I can say, and the film does all the saying for me. It's all condensed right here, and it's ready for your scrutiny, so please enjoy.
The referee blows his whistle and...
Over the line, over the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, Custer has the ball, and yes, Custer passed it out to goal. What an excitement! Did I see that right? Yes, indeed. Here he comes, he shoots it in his hole.
Ow, 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 ow.
Faster, Charlie, it's gotta be a goal, yes, no, yes, no. The halftime is coming to an end.
Get your nice colored balloons.
He's gonna shoot now.
And after all of this, the game chickens out and the match ends at 1-1. Cop out! So then Mufasa returns and calls for a rematch while sounding too much like that voice in the original Street Fighter.
Ladies and gentlemen, because there was no winner in this soccer match,
You've got a lot to run before you beat me.
And the story ends with the dog and Simba from the very beginning saying that
that was a great game, Jovi. Yeah, it was beautiful. Now we can be friends again.
when weren't they friends? And when do you think this next match will take place? Get a load of this.
Yes, but we still have 6 long weeks.
This is a jungle! Why does any of this take 6 weeks to prepare? What else have you got to do in all that time? Decide which front of the litter gets made into supper? So in conclusion, what the hell was any of that? I don't know, and I don't think I ever will know. I'm going to put a pinned comment below this video, and you can all reply to it. You can tell me what the hell any of that was, because I'm sure that one of you out there is supposed to know, and you can help fill my life with a little bit more clarity. Thank you ever so much for watching this video until the very end, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. And before we get to the outtakes at the very end of this video, so please stay tuned for them. Hopefully you'll get a giggle out of them. I first of all would love to thank all of my Patreon supporters that are scrolling past on the screen right now, but I'd also love to thank the sponsors for today's episode, BetterHelp, an affordable and private online service that connects you with any kind of personalised therapist or counsellor whenever you want, wherever you want. Indoors, outdoors, at the park, at the gym. You can use text, video chat, phone calls. It's entirely your shout. You can even be a anonymous if you want. Life is a ridiculously difficult and stressful thing to manage sometimes, and there is no shame in admitting that you need some help and you need somebody to talk to. And as somebody who is on antidepressant and anti-anxiety medication myself, have been for a few years, I am immensely grateful to be partnered with this company, because what they're doing is so admirable, and it's giving more people in trickier positions, especially in the US where healthcare isn't as great and blah 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 blah. It's giving them more options to actually go and get help if they need it, which is fantastic. And hey, even if you have a little bit of financial trouble, there's absolutely no problem with that, because if you qualify, you can even get financial aid. So it's all good stuff. Go to the description below in the first few lines to start the conversation today. Please consider it if you need to. And thank you so much, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. And yes, before the outtakes come on, I just need to give a quick shout out to my top Patreon supporters from last month. Omama2, Basil, Gamerman, I Have a Portal Gun, Robert Alamsha, Oblivion Rising, William Sanborn, Exopaz, Matthew Hubble, Zakari, Mills Kahai, Binary Code, Kirsten B, QB, Cyberpunk Symphony, Thomas Olson, Nathan Young, Chumbawamba, Ellen Rilpley, Joshua Von Hamburg, James Nardiello, Daniel Leon, DC Dungeon Master, Braden Kenny, Mitchell Reed, Jane Ives, and Adie Thornton Smith. Thank you so much, every single one of you. Where we're going, there's no God. Okay, film. He makes this unfilmable. Oh, half of the stuff we film we can't use because of that bloody stupid dog.
Evie. There she is.
Peekaboo!
Jesus Christ.
There are going to be outtakes on in a second, so please stay tuned for that, but I have to... Ow. What? Other end of the road when only one other... On the other end of the road when other... On the other end of the road when only... On the other end of the road when only... I don't even remember the line now.